Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to One Hub Racing. We are here this evening for round number 7 of the P1 Tier Championship. We are here in the famous Spa-Francorchamps in the middle of the Ardennes Forest in Belgium. We are getting straight into action this evening, folks. Of course, it is sprint weight race week here in the P1 Tier, meaning we will be going into a one-shot qualifying. For this evening, I am back with my usual partner. I am joined alongside Matthew. Matthew, welcome back. How are you doing?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's fantastic to be back, and I am doing pretty good, and I hope you are too, and welcome back. It's going to be a very fast and frantic, furious session here with the sprint, but let's see what happens. I think we may have one engine thing to talk about later.
Yeah, I believe we do have a couple of engine penalties, but we are straight into action here in qualifying. It is a one-shot qualifying format here for sprint race weekends. Of course, we will have the sprint around Spa and the main Grand Prix coming up, but it's Namsco so far who is here, heading down the Kemmel straight through what is turn number 6. It's a flat-out curve in any sort of car. He is currently leading, currently second in the Drivers' Championship behind J. Cole. Of course, if you did miss or you're not on Twitter during the week, Jamie Mells will no longer be racing. We're not discussing any of that, but Jamie Mells no longer here. So it is J. Cole who's your new championship leader, Namsco in second. We will talk about that, of course, in due course, as Namsco then heading through X curve. Decent run from Namsco here so far on provisional pole position. Oh, well, he has to complete the lap first, but he is quickest so far here in the one-shot qualifying. There was a mistake from Nathan Samba there. He's dropped down to 8th. J. Cole and Marvin Murr. Marvin joined the league about 20 minutes ago, so we do expect a decent performance from a man who is running OP in the name. So OP, of course, Outplayed Racing, big esports team, but we do expect big performances. But if he's not on the money tonight, that is understandable. But Marvin only new with us, but Namsco is certainly keeping the lap times ticking in the right direction, because he's heading through Blanchimont now, still on provisional pole. Where is Marvin Moore? It's really close into the bus stop chicane. Who is going to take provisional pole position? Braking, they are oh so close on the circuit. J. Cole in third, all wide in fourth. Who'll start the sprint on pole? Will it be Namsco? It will be Namsco. That is a tenth of a second between it. It's a 1:42.7. Namsco gets proceedings underway to take pole position for the sprint.
We said it was going to be fast and furious, and that was quite a good beginning to the evening, and still plenty more action still to come. But there is the official grid for the sprint race.
Official grid for the sprint race then. It is Namsco for AlphaTauri, who is on top. It's Marvin Moore in second. J. Cole in third, followed by Owen Wyatt. Then it is VTI Doik, I think it was how we said it last week, but nevertheless, the hit C's followed by Lakitu. Then there was an invalidations from Nathan Samba and Timo, and then no lap set from Corey, Ryder, Larkin, Tim, and Jinx, and the Confessor as well, who joined in the middle of qualifying. But very, very interesting grid then for the sprint, with Namsco taking the top. Now we can relax a little bit for a second, folks, and I'll run you through the championship standings. It is Oriel J. Cole in first with 68 points, Namsco in second on 63, Ryder Tal in third on 58, Timo in fourth on 56, Merkt in fifth, who's not here this evening, on 53, it's then Larkin on 51, and Cass on 48. The top 7 separated by a race win here in One Hub Racing P1 Tier. Absolutely fascinating. It's then Tim on 43, Samba 32, Lakitu 32, the Confessor 31. It is then Jinx on 26, Corey 21. It's then a bit of a jump, because there's a couple of guys who won't be racing with it. It's then Owen Wyatt on 9 and 19. Serdar is on 7. It's then Kevin, who made a debut in Singapore, on 6, and no points for Nipro. And of course Marvin Muir, who it's his first race here this evening. But sprint about to get underway. Matthew, what can we look forward to here in the second sprint of the season?
Well, if it's anything like the first one, you're going to expect a lot of brilliant overtaking and some frantic action, but I think things will calm down a little bit in this sprint race. It's 8 laps to the end, and I don't think we'll see many incidents, but if we do, then we're in the right place to see some fireworks, potentially.
Yeah, we may see some fireworks. Of course, it is a 7.004 kilometre, 4.352 mile circuit with 20 corners here in Spa-Francorchamps. Namsco is going to have to defend for 271 metres from pole to turn number 1, one of the shortest ones on the calendar, full throttle at about 70% of this lap, which is not as much as you'd expect considering there is such a long straight. But we are 4 seconds away from getting underway here in the sprint. Whether the formation lap is on or not, I cannot remember, but we head on to the grid, and no, the formation lap is on, so we do have another minute to talk about it. In terms of the tyres, they should all realistically be on the medium compound. No, the Confessor, he's on the hards. That's a very interesting call. I don't fully understand why he's done that.
I think that might be an error, but joining in the middle of quali, I don't think he's had a chance to set everything the way he perhaps wanted to. Maybe he knows something about the feature race that we don't at this point, but that's a strange call, but we'll see if it pays dividend for him. I don't think it will in the sprint, but let's see if he's in a better position for the feature later on tonight.
Yeah, we'll see if he is in a good position for the feature race. Of course, 14 here on the field this evening, which is a little bit vexatious, but I suppose there's not really much we can do about it. We'd prefer to have 20, but 14 is still a good number. The Confessor's actually disconnected again, so I do hope the Confessor's not having too many issues, and he can get some clean running in here this evening. That would be ideal if we could have the Confessor here, because he's a very good driver. Had a bit of a poor race in Singapore, but of course he was gifted the Bahrain Grand Prix victory due to, of course, outside circumstances. The statistics were updated and he was given the victory. Of course, I'll try run you through who has won each race. J. Cole was given the victory in Japan. Cass was given the victory in round 4. In round number 5, the victory was given to the Confessor, of course. And then last week it went to Ryder Dahl, who took his first one-hub racing victory. Not the way any driver realistically wants to do, but I don't think they will complain about receiving 20 points in what is such a tight championship. But here in Spa-Francorchamps, the local village of Spa, it's been popular since the 9th century, which it's quite a long time ago. It's mainly popular for, you'll never guess it, the healing properties of the water, which is where you may figure a spa comes from. But Another fun fact about Spa, the town, it is home to the world's oldest casino. So, just like Monaco, if we have any early DNFs here this evening, that's where they might be headed. But enough random facts, it's time to go racing. The Confessor's just joined us back, so may get in on the grid. We're about to get going here in Belgium, as Lakitu's been disqualified.
Well, that's that's a weird thing where you get to your grid slot and it's never correct according to the game, so I'm surprised there hasn't been more, because that is very finicky. But anyway,
here we go then. 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we go racing here in Belgium. Very good start from J. Cole in 3rd position. He's up alongside Marvin Moore in towards turn number 1. Look at Owen White round the outside, always a fast starter. He's the Northern Irishman. Bit of contact between the Haas and the Ferrari. Heading down to Eau Rouge and Radillon. Side by side already in the sprint here. Up Eau Rouge. Lakitu just has to back out. Still side by side between Tim and Corey. Side by side up the famous hill. Tim has got the spot. Excellent overtaking, excellent racing in the very early stages of proceedings here in Belgium. Owen White, bit of defending to do. J. Cole, bit of defending to do from Marvin Moore in towards Lake Holme for the first time. It's the Ferrari who'll stay ahead. J. Cole is right on the back of Owen White here, and the two old P2 tier nemesis are looking to scrap out once again. Timo side by side with Lakitu. There's real chaos here because of a slow exit, I believe, for Timo. Timo's been pushed off the circuit by Ryder Dahl, and Lakitu is around. I believe he's just been saved by a Haas. Where there is damage on that Haas, we'll have to wait and see. The Confessor he's disconnected again, so the Confessor having some real issues at the back of the field. But Namsco leads by 9/10 of a second over Owen White. J. Cole 3rd, Marvin 4th. It's an VTI in 5th, Lakitu 6th, Corey 7th, Ryder Dahl 8th, Tim now in 9th with Nathan Samba in 10th, Jinx 11th, Larkin 12th, Timo 13th, and then of course the Confessor right at the back in 14th.
Yeah, I'm not noticing any damage on any of the cars, especially with that moment there. So I think Tim may have gotten away with something there. But yeah, I saw the Confessor facing backwards in a wall at the top of the straight there. So he's way out of this. And of course, he's left the session once again. I don't know if that's tactical or if he's got real issues regarding connection tonight, but
Here comes J. Cole. Here comes J. Cole. Around the outside. Becomes the inside. Oh, Owen White's just got an exit. That would have been an absolute beauty from J. Cole, but Owen White's got the exit still side by side into La Source. This is letting Namsco pull away. He's already got 2 seconds on these two, but they quite frankly do not care. J. Cole gets the exit now out of La Source, turn number 1, and Owen White will have the slipstream up the hill and down towards the Lake Holme chicane. But that was a fantastic, well worked move. Now Owen White will not. He's run really wide. Oh my goodness me, he's run completely wide off the circuit. Very lucky to avoid an Armco barrier. Here comes Marvin then. He's looking to get past the fellow Ferrari powered car, and the Scuderia Ferrari has to be careful. Got to try the long way around the outside. J. Cole pushes him defensively. Oh, huge slap on the ass. He's hit Owen Wyatt there. It's worked out completely wrong. So Owen Wyatt, Melita picks up some damage. No, we've no damage on the telemetry, but he certainly hit the back of Marvin Muir. Now VTI looking around the outside. The Irishman trying to work away past the Haas. This is excellent racing in the early proceedings here in Belgium. Owen Wyatt now looking to try and get past another Ferrari car, but it is Lakitu of Alfa Romeo Sauber in front.
Yeah, and Codemasters obviously made it back here because he's now retired. I'm not sure where. I think it might have been.
I think it was a manual. I think he pressed the button. The car has just stopped at the bottom of Eau Rouge though, because it certainly was moving for a little bit. So unfortunate for the Confessor, but he has retired. He was miles back here in the sprint, and with a very unlikely chance of safety cars, he wouldn't have really got a chance to go back in it. Of course, we did have a safety car in Japan. When we went there, there was a collision between, I believe the Confessor was involved with Cass and Lakitu, but certainly it's been a lot cleaner so far this evening here in Spa. Owen Wyatt runs a little bit wide. Corey's been tapped round. Tim has tapped round Corey, and that's Corey gone for a spin and sent to the back. Oh, he tapped his front wing off the wall as well. That's unfortunate there for Corey, as he's rage quit. Okay, that's disappointing. But Corey has picked up damage, and he is down the back. Lap 3 of 8 then. And heading up Eau Rouge, there's nobody really going for overtakes. Tim is looking to try and attack Nathan Samba, winner of round 2 in Portimao. Nathan Samba hasn't really been seen since, but the Aston Martin is still fighting. Bit of a snap there through Lake Holme, but he's still trying to keep with the Red Bull in front. Side by side here, actually. It's Owen Wyatt and Lakitu. We saw Owen Wyatt looking to try and get past into X Curve. Now into Bruxelles. He's got the job done. Excellent overtake from the Aston Martin, and Owen trying to work his way back up to where he was battling for second just in the last lap. Now back up to 5th position, but he deserves that penalty for running very, very wide at Rathillon.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that probably won't be the last penalty you see through there in all of tonight's events. But yeah, it's there's an interesting up and down start for Owen Wyatt, but he seems to have settled down into some sort of rhythm now. But Marvin Muir on debut, he's having I'm not going to say too much. I don't want to commentate to curse the new guy, but he's doing well for himself at the moment. But Namsco is in control of this sprint. But J. Cole will be looking to try and put the pressure on. Even though he is 3 seconds down the road, he will try everything he can to eke into that gap.
Oh, look at Jinx. Jinx was going side by side with Tim there. He's going to try the long way around the outside. Jinx has not been the most impressive driver, but certainly he's had moments. That's one of them. Tim goes off the session. Oh, Marvin Moore. Oh no, Matthew, I think that's the first commentator's curse of the evening. He's had a disconnect. That's also unfortunate for the Haasman, and he's losing major time. This will allow VTI back onto the podium. As Marvin Muir. So it's a disconnect. Better to happen in the sprint than the main race, I suppose. We do hope he can get back in. Ryder Dahl, right in the back of Lakitu, battled in the P1 tier on many occasions, but Ryder Dahl was in the Alfa Romeo. Here comes Ryder Dahl then, in the Red Bull this time. Can he find a way past into Lake Holme? He's got all going the outside. Lakitu round. He has been tapped. And it looked like he was trying to take avoiding action across the chicane. However, it was a half spin, which has led into a full spin. Tim down the inside. Block pass on Jinx through the Bruxelles hairpin and in towards formerly known as No Name. Now X Curve. He's got the job done on the ET8 man, and the McLaren is just going to have to settle for 9th position.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to get a little bit fractious out there for people trying to maybe force the issue a little bit. It is a sprint race, and of course this is sort of more of the mentality that I've been used to in other in hopper lobbies or whatever you want to call them these days. But it's going to take something special for anyone to unseat Namskull in this sprint, I think. But I'm not claiming any commentator's curse for disconnect. I think it's more an issue with the crossplay, but blame the PCs and the servers for that one.
Yeah, so that's Marvin Muir losing another position to Jinx, but of course that is just because he is in AI. Owen Wyatt's hit the back of the Mercedes, and there's a little bit of a pile up through the bus stop chicane. Oh no! Oh my goodness me! We have a bit of a desync as Ryder Dahl has just been right on the back of the gearbox of Owen Wyatt from a literal sense. Ryder Dahl with the inside of the Aston Martin, bit of push to pass as Ryder Dahl has a kick out of the rear, and now Nathan Samba is up to fourth, looking for the podium. There's a yellow flag, it's for Lakitu. Almost side by side up Rouge and Ratillon. What can Nathan Samba do? Surely he's going to find a way past the burning battery, and they are burning it fast. The Aston Martin pulls to the outside, you can see him. He shoots past the Mercedes. Samba is up onto the podium. Ryder Dahl side by side with the other Aston Martin of Owen Wyatt. He's run wide, and Ryder Dahl, just like Lakitu on the last lap, goes spinning of the Lake chicane.
Tim also has damage there. He's fallen right down to the back of the field. Of course, still being disconnected from the lobby. He's last on the track, but there's a bit of damage that's not been reported by the telemetry. But I can tell you, Tim has no front wing at all, so that's going to be very difficult to get back to the pit. And there's 3 laps to go in the sprint. Is it? I don't know if you get a fastest lap outside the top 10 in the sprint race, but if you do, that's something to aim for.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if you do myself, but certainly a goal to go for. Namsco has had this one fairly comfortable up the top, but everyone else behind him has been scrapping well and truly for this one. J. Cole is in second, quite comfortable as well. Nathan Samba looking comfortable on Dyke, but Owen Wyatt in 5th position is hungry for and Aston Martin 3-4. Let's see what he can do. Can he just find a way past the Mercedes? Not gonna get it done into the bus stop, as Larkin does run a little bit wide. Larkin was involved in a very early collision, but he's worked his way back up to 6th. That's Marvin Muir, unfortunately losing another spot. That will be a position for the spinning Ryder Dahl. Here comes Owen Wyatt then, trying to get on with things in towards last source of turn 1. Larkin is just sitting behind. He is waiting to capitalise on a possible mistake for Owen Wyatt. He's certainly not invincible from mistakes as the Aston Martin, so Larkin knows this. He's just going to sit behind. Very mature approach from the Ferrari. Here comes Owen Wyatt. Apologies then. He's going to go for the outside, just like Samba did on the Mercedes a lap ago. And through goes Owen Wyatt. It was very easy for the Northern Irishman, and he's made it very, very simple. Timo then looking on the back of Larkin, the 2 ET8 boys and the 2 ERT boys and an ET8 boy, as it's Jinx looking up the inside of Timo in towards Bruxelles. That's a beautiful overtake from the McLaren. Going to be fought back from the Alpine. How have they avoided contact there? That was unbelievable battling as Timo is going to look for into Pujon. Oh, surely not. No, he does not, and that's Jinx. Well, one of his better performances of the season so far here, up to 7th.
Yeah, it's a great race between the two of those through there. That is definitely the sort of things we've come to expect watching the P1 tier this season. But that move is definitely not over yet. I think he's got the position for now, but can he keep it as he tries to get the power down on XD? Yes, I think Jinx is now through to P7 overall, but can Owen Wyatt hold on to P4? Will he be able to make inroads to his teammate? Will he be able to hold off VTI? Will Larkin do anything from P6? We've got 2 laps to find out, and let's see what happens in the remainder of the sprint.
Let's see what happens here then. 2 laps to go. If you're enjoying One Hub Racing, make sure you do subscribe. We've now finally reached over 700 subscribers, so make sure to pop a subscription. Get us 800. Make sure to pop a like on the stream. Heading through turn number 1, it is the McLaren of Jinx, just looking to progress a little bit further here in the sprint race. The gaps up the front are all very, very separated. However, VTI is just looking a little bit vulnerable here in the Mercedes. Larkin's going to go the long way around the outside. Will it be 2 past him in the 1? The McLaren? No. VTI tucks into line, now has to defend from Jinx, and Jinx is going to try the long way around the outside. He went the long way around the outside. Timo on the last lap. It's oh so close, and this is the closest quarters you could get in. But around the outside through Malmedy. Oh, it's into retirement from Owen Wyatt. It will be one more spot for Jinx. It'll be two more spots for Jinx. The McLaren still going to have to battle through here, where he took the spot on the last lap. But here on lap 7, it's one more for Jinx. He's gone from 7th to 5th in a couple of corners. As we said, Owen Wyatt not necessarily invincible for mistakes. It's another mistake from the Aston Martin, and he is now retired from the sprint.
Yes, he certainly has retired from the sprint, and that could well be considered a commentator's curse. Well, I did say, can he make inroads into his teammate ahead, or can he hold on? But he's done neither of those things, and he's made an inroad into the barrier instead.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Owen Wyatt, as he was in a good position. He'll now have to come from the back with Confessor to see he maybe get a good result in this main Grand Prix, but certainly some people will not have much faith in that, because he's made quite a few mistakes this season. But you got to have full faith in Owen Wyatt, because he can produce the odd masterclass. Timo's now looking to try get past the Mercedes, and I have to say, Dyke or VTI or whatever we want to call him, he's fallen through the pack in the last few laps. Right, else it's the fastest lap. Here comes Timo around the outside, just like Jinx was. Jinx then made it the inside through Bruxelles. Timo's not going to have to wait till then. He flies past Dyke in towards Eau Rouge and Radillon. And now the Alpine is through and up to 6th position. Here comes Jinx then versus Larkin. Larkin will want to hold on to this one, because he's in the fight for the championship. Jinx is going to try the outside. This will be an unbelievable sprint race performance from Jinx. If he can make this one work, Larkin pushes him right onto the apex, but Jinx invites himself through. What an overtake. He's not pulled it off just yet, actually. Larkin holds it through Malmedy in towards Bruxelles. Can the McLaren keep it? No, he cannot. Larkin's going to try block pass him, a move Jinx has pulled off many times in this race. There's a bit of a nudge between the two. Larkin will hold on. Is there damage maybe for Jinx? No, he doesn't seem to have picked up anything, but Jinx will have to remain in P number 5. Samba will be okay in P3, I believe, as he only has the 3 seconds. He doesn't even have 3 seconds, so he will remain in P3 if there's no moments from him. But Jinx is going to have to stick behind Larkin for the time being, unless he can work away past maybe into Blanchimont at the bus stop chicane. Oh no, he will not. It's a mistake. It is a mistake through Campus Corner, and now Jinx has unfortunately lost every ounce of progress that he's just gained up. He's now side by side with Rod Vital, heading through the Compas Frere, as that is oh so unfortunate. Heading through the bus stop though is the man who's controlled from start to finish. It's currently leading every lap and topping every session in the weekend. Namsko wins the second sprint of the season. Here in the P1 tier, his championship rival J. Cole finishes behind him. Nathan Samble will come across in 3rd position. Is Rod Vital able to work away past Jinx here for 8th position, trying to swap him in and swap him out of the corner, but it's not going to work, and Jinx will hold on to P8. Could have been possibly P4, but he's made that mistake. Radadal come home 9th. Marvin Muir will come home in 10th after that disconnect, and then it'll be Tim and Corey, both involved in incidents. Allmind he'll start 13th for the next race, but it was a non-finish in 13th in the Confessor. We'll start 14th, again non-finish, but with disconnects he never really stood a chance, unfortunately.
No, he didn't, but Tim there did get fastest lap, I'd see there, on the overall of the session. So Tim will cross the line in 11th. Corey's still not here. That's the AR just about to finish. And we'll get going with the feature race in just a few minutes' time when the grid has been set. I think this will be something to look forward to in the next few moments. It's got everything, and I think we're going to see just a little bit more in the feature.
Yeah, I think we will. Jinx picks up the in-game driver. They just popped in the comments saying a couple of nice moves. There certainly was a couple of nice moves from Jinx, and it was a very, very good performance. I better go to this tab before Cam kills me again. But Namsko finishes in P1 and will start P1. J. Cole in 2nd from 3rd. Nathan Samba in 3rd. Larkin in 4th. Timo in 5th. It is then VTI Dyke in, or DOHC, I suppose we'll say that just in case, in 6th. Lakitu in 7th. Jinx in 8th. Picks up the last in-game point, but the point system of course is different here in One Hub Racing. Radadal will start 9th, Marvin Muir in 10th, Tim 11th, Corey 12th, and then your non-finishers in the sprint, Owen Wyatt and the Confessor. So hopefully those two can come back in the main Grand Prix. It would be a good result for both if they could. But I am going to hand it over to Matthew for a quick second, and we will hear about our fantastic One Hub Racing sponsors and partners.
It's been a while since I've done this, but let's see if I can still remember how to use actual words. Anyway, the sponsors and partners we have here at One Hub Racing are, our first sponsor is the Next Level Racing, who sponsor the league by providing prizes, and Pure Sim Gear sponsor the league by providing a new product not launched yet to the driver with the most podiums. And Gamergoo are back for another season, who sponsor the league by providing Gamergoo samples to the trophy winners. And we have Assetec Sim Sports, who sponsor the league by providing a multitude of prizes with different ways to win them. For example, the driver with the most fastest laps wins a set of Forte pedals, and the driver with the shortest combined qualifying time wins a set of Forte pedals and boots. And now we have our partners of Vespertine, who sport our official apparel, and ERT partner, the ERT Going Get Stuff Award and the league trophies. And we are powered by SimGrid. We run our seasons through their community and platform, and we can see standings and who's not going to be here for certain rigs in one amazing place. And of course, a quick shout out to the Tasman, which means we can see telemetry on the track of damage and tyre percentages. But I will throw back to the start of this race in just about 10 seconds time. This has got everything, and I'm looking forward to seeing Owen White come back from the back for a podium. There's your masterclass that he's capable of doing.
If you're wondering what happened to the Confessor and why he was leaving, thankfully it's no internet issues. What was happening was he was pressing take control of his car. It was giving him control of his car. However, he was still in the spectator menus. So basically, this is what he was seeing on screen now as we go cockpit cam, and he had to try to drive with this. So that's Codemasters at their absolute finest once again, folks, and I'll tell you that for free. But hopefully the Confessor is with us now. He actually posted the video on Twitter. That's the reason I found out. So he's got his priorities straight. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, strategy, big thing in One Hub Racing. You have to do 2 stops. I remember a classic race here where we had rain right at the end with Montana versus Tom Roberts, both on very weird strategies. Legend ended up winning the race in the end. Hopefully we do get something similar. Namsco then on the softs, followed by J. Cole on the softs as well. Nathan Samba going for the hard compounded tyres, with Larkin also going the opposite to his teammate. He's on a set of the Pirelli medium compounded tyres. Timo on the softs, followed by DRHC on the softs as well. Lakitu going for the hards. Jinx on the mediums, followed by Ryder Dahl on the softest, and Marvin Muir, who was back with us briefly, who's gone for the mediums. Tim on the hards, Corey on the hards. Owen Wyatt is on the soft compounded tyres with the Confessor on the mediums. And does the Confessor have control of his car? I'm really not too sure. I believe he does. It seems like it's an actual person driving it. So hopefully the Confessor is back with us here for the Grand Prix.
Yes, I can definitely relate to that problem he's had. I've actually had to deal with that before in a league race, and it's very off-putting. But it's something that really shouldn't be a thing. But looking forward to the start of this race, and those on soft tyres are clearly anticipating an early safety car, so they can switch to mediums or hards to have their strategy open up. But whatever happens, it's 22 laps of pedal to the metal, about to start in just a few moments.
I've George Morgan beside me all of a sudden. Pedal to the metal.
I reported him on Twitch earlier.
Does he say it a lot? Does he say pedal to the metal a lot? Because I've heard him use it all the time in normal conversation. I'd love to see it if he uses it on his Twitch. But anyways, back to One Hub Racing, ladies and gentlemen. 271 metres down towards turn number 1. It's the Confessor who's parking on the grid. Sorry, apologies, it's Marvin Muir who we're waiting to park on the grid. But it was first used by Formula 1 here in 1950. In 2023 in One Hub Racing, we could be about to get an absolute classic to remember for all time. 3, 4, 5 red lights, and for the second time, we go racing here in Belgium. What a start from Samba on the inside, a great initial launch. Poor launch for the Confessor in the background, but Namsco leads into turn number 1. J. Cole gonna try get the run up Rouge and Ratillon. Samba gonna try and battle with Larkin here, holds on to 3rd position. The Aston Martin got a great initial launch. Timo in the background with a decent initial launch as well. Up Rouge and Ratillon early on for the first time down the Kemmel Straight. J. Cole going to do everything he can. Marvin Muir, unfortunately, disconnecting very early on. J. Cole opting to not go for the slipstream of Namsco as he's trying to defend from the Aston Martin on the hard compound tyres into the Lacombe chicane for the first time. Nathan Samba in third position, not able to get past. Timo battling with Larkin right behind, and Timo not able to get past. He has actually tapped the back. It looks like that is DOHC looking to go up the inside of Lakitu. He is going to look up to go the inside of Lakitu here into Bruxelles corner. He's down 4 spots. Gonna try and make it 3 is Tim and the Confessor in a mighty old scrap behind, side by side. Are they going to continue it side by side to Pujon? No, the Confessor's got the spot. DOHC, however, is risking it into Pujon, and he has got the spot. That's a great move from the Mercedes, and he's past Lakitu. Timo still battling with Larkin here. Fantastic opening lap so far, but it was very weird to see J. Cole knocked over the slipstream on Namsco. He opted to stay in the middle of the circuit, and now maybe suffering from it because he's 0.8 of a second behind.
Yeah, that could have been a small tactical error there in the early stages from J. Cole, but he's still got P2, which is, I guess, the main thing right now. He's just defending from those on better tyres behind him, which, well, I say better, they'll go longer into this race. The sauce will burn up really quick, especially with the heavy fuel loads that they are carrying at the start of this race. So
Ryder Dow runs deep into the bus stop chicane. He was battling with Owen Wyatt. Really little bit of a drift from Owen Wyatt out of the corner, but he's got the spot for now anyways. Gap at the front is 1.2 as here comes Ryder Dowell looking up the inside of Owen Wyatt. Can he make the place? Not for now. The biggest gainer on the opening lap was Owen Wyatt. Your biggest loser was Marvin Marr, unfortunately, but that is due to some form of a disconnect. Corey has made a mistake. There's a yellow flag for Corey, and he's down to the back. Oh, bit of a late move from Owen Wyatt up the top of the down the bottom of the Kemmel Straight, I should say. There's battling further in front as well as Timo has worked his way past Larkin. Larkin not able to hang it around the outside. But the Scuderia Ferrari man gonna lose a spot here as Nathan Samba is keeping with J. Cole. No pace from J. Cole here on the softs initially. He should be bolting away from Samba, or maybe Samba is having a very good stint here on the hard tyres. We are yet to see. There's a bit of lag. That's unfortunately due to the cross play, as that's Corey gone round into the wall, unfortunately, and the exit of Malmedy.
Yeah, the hard tyres are very, very good here around Belgium. Quite a lot of us down in P3 used them earlier on, but Corey's left the session there. That's it. I think that might be him done for the day. It's a shame he can't recapture the form that we know he's capable of, but in the early going, that couldn't get the hard tyres to work the way he wanted to. But there's quite a few on them, and Marvin Muir is he back? I think he's back in the session now, back in the car, which is good to see on his first week here in one-hub racing. And yeah, I'm just looking for battles, and I think the closest one we've got is probably Timo and Samba, just into the bus stop there.
Yeah, in towards the bus stop chicane. Larkin on the back of those as well. Namsco's just the fastest lap of the race. He's bolted a bit into the distance, but with how impressive Samba's been on the hard tyres, I'd say he's more Namsco's real challenger than J. Cole at the minute. J. Cole, of course, leading the championship 68 points to 63 ahead of Namsco, so it would not necessarily be a turn in the tables, it would be a close in the gap. But Larkin on the back of Timo, looking to defend from Jinx. Jinx is back to where he wants to be. Made that mistake in the sprint, didn't pick as much points up as he would have liked to. But there is certainly another pace on board Matt McLaren. He's all over the back of the Ferrari, making himself very present in the wing mirrors of the Scuderia car. Made a bit of a mistake for Malmedy, and no good from him, unfortunately. Marvin Muir, I don't think he is back with us now, but he's gained a spot nevertheless, as Corey's AI has pulled into the pit lane. Two Mercedes are on track with each other, so it's definitely the Confessor driving this time. And on the medium compound of Pirelli rubber, he's looking a lot better than DOHC so far in this race. But it's settled down now, certainly for sure. We should start to see the first pit stop soon enough, folks, off the soft compound of tyres. It is currently Namsco who leads, and that's Owen Wyatt. That's Owen Wyatt who's round again, unfortunately.
Yeah. Anyway, it's there's always a shame when you see an accident about to happen and you can't stop it. You just gotta hope the driver in charge of the car can. And unfortunately, on that occasion, he had a bit of a slide. I don't see any damage on the car or the telemetry, but that's definitely cost him time and tyres. And I wouldn't be surprised if he if he pits at the end of this lap to put on the hards and see what he can salvage from the afternoon. It's not a great start for him, but he's going to go one more lap. So what do we know? Lakitu is going to... Oh no, Lakitu's avoided an accident, he had one himself. That's gone... Ooh, luckily he kept it out of the wall, but that could have gone very much worse than it did. But Tim has just lost a place to the Confessor there.
Oh, there goes the Confessor past Tim, and we were just looking at that. I thought the Confessor might have had a look into Eau Rouge on this teammate. There's no team orders here. The Confessor's past 1. Is the Confessor past 2? He's past the Haas. He's past the Mercedes. They're 3 wide. Tim's round at the Camel Straight. High-speed collision for Tim. Don't really know what he's doing. Seemed like he got on the grass. The Confessor's got the both of them. Tim has gone falling down. The Confessor up to 8th. DOHC down to 9th. He spun himself. Oh, he spun himself heading through the second part of the Lacombe chicane. We didn't see him come into camera shot, and that is why. That's Owen wide back up to 9th. Lakitu 10th. Tim in 11th, and DOHC in 12th. I don't really know what's gone on with Tim on the main straight there, but certainly he had a spin round.
Yeah, I think he's tried to go down the other side of the Mercedes, who just let his teammate through. I think he may have turned in a little bit too sharply, like a la George Russell at Imola in the wet on Valtteri Bottas.
Oh no.
When he was still in the Williams. I think that's what's gone on there. And then, of course, VTI lost it 2 corners later. Maybe he felt sympathy, I don't know. But he's definitely behind Tim now, as perhaps he should have been all along. Anyway, all the way back up to 9th position. This is a weird race. Everyone's making mistakes. No one's really benefiting from it. And, of course, Samba is looking to reel in Jake Colony. He'll assume the lead of this race in the next couple of laps or so, given that he's on the much better tyre, and the softs will begin to degrade very much quicker than they have before. But Timo is also there on the softs. He's going to try and stick around a little bit longer than everyone else, but the tyre wear is pretty much about equal, just at a quick glance. But yeah, Larkin is on the medium, so he could well be oh well, it won't be Jinx, who's just got off the track and got a time limit warning. And I thought we were going to see a safety car for a crash at the top of Radion, but we still haven't seen that. And VTI is now in the pits to change tyres, and it's all going off, and I don't know where to look.
Yep, it is all going off. Nathan Samba really pressuring J. Cole. The gap is steadily increasing between J. Cole and our race leader, One Namsco. But those guys are going to have to pit off the soft compounded tyres probably about this lap. My TAS hasn't been working all season, so I can't tell you, unfortunately, folks, what the top 2 tyre wear is. But Samba is definitely his better tyre wear because he's on the hards. Is this side by side in the background? It is side by side in the background. Larkin, much better tyres than Timo now because he's on the mediums. He's arguably better tyres than Samba now. As Timo, huge bit of a slide from the Alpine, heading through Malmedy and into, or sorry, apologies, through Campus and in towards Stavolo and down to the Courn Paul Frere. Nathan Samba, he's definitely looking to get past J. Cole. Yellow flags, that is for Jinx. That is Jinx, unfortunately, round. And he looked a bit wobbly through that corner on the last lap, and that's Owen wide out of the race. This will be a perfect time for a safety car for the front runners. Just as Namsco enters the pit lane, the safety car comes out. That was for Owen Wyatt. Samba gets in as well. His teammate crashed and caused the safety car just as he was about to pull into the pit lane. Larkin stays out. He'll take the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix.
Yes, he certainly will, but seen from the telemetry, it's just a virtual, so I don't think it's full safety car yet. So
no, it's full safety car. The safety car is coming out in the circuit.
Ah, well, that's weird because I don't see that, and it says virtual on the telemetry. So, what is going on here? This game is fantastic, isn't it?
Oh, it does actually say virtual safety car in the telemetry. I'm just going to back Matthew up on that one because it does actually genuinely say virtual safety car is out. It says it in French, mind you, for me, but the virtual safety car is out. It's definitely full safety car by the looks of things. They're all overtaken. We'll go on board with Lakitu now to see he is Bernd Maylander. Yeah, he is. It's a full safety car, folks.
Okay, apologies for the graphical error there, but
yeah, we do apologise, folks. We don't really. It's not really our mistake, but it's definitely full safety car. The new tyres are on your screen, of course, folks. It is Namsco on the mediums, J. Cole gone for the hard, Samba on the mediums, Timo softs. So, is that a double softs in from Timo? Believe it is. Right it down, medium softs for the Confessor, mediums Lakitu, mediums Tim. Then Jinx on the hards. DHC on the softs, they're not fresh, I don't believe. And then, of course, Corey and Marvin Muir, unfortunately, both leaving the session. Marvin, I believe, is disconnecting, but Corey did leave. So, only 11 real runners left here in the Belgian Grand Prix, meaning good points for all if they do finish.
Yep, of course, it's points for all, and of course, don't forget, you can get an extra point inside and outside the top 10 for fastest lap here in one operation, which I think makes every position matter just that little bit more, because you could be having an absolute shocker of a day, such as if Marvin was here, such as he's having right now. It's not his fault, of course, it happens. Disconnections are part of the game. Unfortunately, the game is just inferior now for what we want it to be. Maybe I'm just talking for me, but anyhow, there's definitely some pride to be had by getting the fastest lap if you finish the race in 13th. So that's always good, and of course points go down to P12 in one operation as well.
Nams goes back in.
That's clever. He's doing 2 stops under the safety car.
That's very clever. He's going to go for the hards till the end here, which is very easily doable. Yes. He's not the only one. Timo as well has pit, so has the Confessor. The Confessor's... He's fairly intelligent behind the wheel of an automobile, and the Confessor has come in as well. What Samba is relying on then is there being another safety car, and he can get a cheeky free pit stop anyways.
Yes, that is something to perhaps try and rely on as well. You can't always guarantee what's going to happen around Belgium, but I think we said it at the top. I think we said there's going to be a safety car of some description here. You can only hope for another one, but now, for the first time, I can see a safety car on my screen. So that is that's very helpful, even though she still says it's just a virtual. I'm very, very confused right now, but I can see a safety car. Maybe Bert Mylander just decided I want some of this race as well. If the drivers on track can't do it properly, I'm going to show them how to do it. But this is always gonna look towards Namsko for the slight advantage at this point. Hards to the end, as you say. He's pitted twice on the safety car, which is something that I'd love to be able to do in situations such as this. But of course, you never really know what's around the corner, especially at Spa. It bites hard and bites very often, and I'm sure we're not done yet.
We are definitely not done yet. This could be a really interesting end to the race. This is quite a crucial one for the championship. We've had no real major collisions apart from the Owen Wyatt crash, but I suppose it's a little bit better than what previously happened here in Spa. The first lap crash in 1998 caused $13 million worth of damage. Believed it was caused by David Coulthard, some say. If anyone's interested, I did get to see David Coulthard drive a car down the streets of Dublin, and I'm not going to waffle on about my experience. However, the one interesting thing that happened is, yes, he stalled it. So David has not changed in his elder years, but here in Belgium, he's had many an interesting occasion, from his pundit years to being punched in the face by Michael Schumacher. Let's hope this race doesn't end up with Nathan Samba throwing a left hook at Ryder Dahl. That would be interesting. I suppose it would be... We've had everything other than maybe a scrap here in the P1 tier this season. We've had all sorts of allegations. We've had very interesting racing, and we now have 2 more people back into the pit lane to complete a second stop. So these guys are all being a bit sneaky with their pit strategies.
Well, they are, but you've got to maybe question the timing a little bit. Like, why would you, unless, of course, you think you're going to have fresher tyres for the final lap of the race over the likes of Namsko, perhaps you can cut your way through the field and perhaps steal a podium or maybe a win from under the noses of those that are already up there. But it's slightly strange to do it when everyone else has already gone round one more time.
Yes, and with so little racing cars, by racing, obviously they're all racing cars, but by racing cars I mean cars that aren't disconnected. We only have 11 of them. It's highly unlikely that there is another safety car, but there's always a possibility. There's always a possibility of rain here in Belgium as well. Of course, the Ardennes region here in Spa experiences the most annual rainfall in Belgium over the course of a year, and it rained here in Belgium in the Belgian Grand Prix for 20 years running. So it's very sunny skies here, and if I have a cheeky look on the TAS, yeah, it's no rain. So no rain today, so that was utterly useless, but there you go, folks. Nathan Samba will get us underway at the end of this lap.
Yes, he certainly will, but you say no rain today, but I'm looking in the distance. There are some very dark clouds ahead, so perhaps we may get a chance of rain in the closing stages, especially with the safety car delaying things just a little bit. We will see, but at the moment there's still enough blue sky for it to not matter, but we will keep an eye on the weather as it unfolds before our eyes. But yeah, we're going to get started again very shortly, I would imagine. And there's a lot of discourse in the Discord chat about tyres and things like that. And,
is there? Hold on, let me have a look at this.
Yeah, there's.
Oh yeah.
Timo's not happy. Can't say I blame him. But yeah, it's.
I won't lie, I read Jamie met and got very concerned for a moment. But anyways, we're about to get racing here in Belgium. Of course, if you don't know who Jamie is an absolute icon of this is Jamie Met, this is. He's an absolute icon of One Hub Racing. Scrap that, because we go racing here in Spa. We're going to have a nice little discussion about a champion and former P1 commentator, but Nathan Samba has got us underway prematurely here. Braking for the bus stop chicane now, no overtaking until safety car line 1, which on the game it is the start-finish line pretty much. But Nathan Samba, as we go racing here in Belgium, can Jacob maybe look to try get back up towards P2? Can Tim look to maybe chuck a dive bomb into turn number 1? He's not close enough. Samba's got an absolute flyer at the front of the grid here, and Larkin on the softs as well is just pulling away from Namsco. Namsco, of course, though, is going to the end of the Grand Prix. The only thing that would really stop him winning is himself here in Belgium, or maybe a safety car. Tim on the back of Lakito as well, the two Ferrari powered machines going to battle here into the Lacombe chicane. Is Tim close enough for a late move? No, he is not on Lakito, and I have to say Lakito looking fairly impressive apart from some mistakes, or apart from a few mistakes here in Belgium. Ryder Dal and Timo getting past the AI car of Corey, and then that's Marvin Muir and Corey down the back. Tim up the inside, apologies, not Timo, Tim up the inside of Lakito. Beautiful move in towards Malmedy. Jinx has just run a little bit wide. Lakito has picked up a penalty. That's definitely another commentator's curse from me, as Ryder Dal loses the spot to Timo, but Nathan Samba leads the Grand Prix by 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, it's all going off again, and he's just been absolutely mugged for a couple of positions on this lap, so perhaps he's not got the medium tyres in the correct window for him to be able to effectively push with those tyres. But Samba caught everybody sleeping, and I thought for a moment he's going to misjudge it, but I think he's had an absolutely picture-perfect restart. He's got 1.5 seconds on Larkin, who's on the soft tyre, so he'll have to do something pretty quick if he's going to get back into this race at this stage, because he'll be pitted earlier than anybody else that still needs to pit again.
Yes, of course, we will get the pit stops up on your screen now, folks, to so you can see who has made 2 stops. The people left to make a stop, it is Nathan Samba, Larkin, Tim, and it is Lakitu and Jinx. Corey's AI is making his second stop here in the race. But this is going to get really interesting. Hello to Jess as well. She's saying safety car can spice things up. That comment was a few minutes ago, but yes, it definitely can, and things are definitely spiced up here as Lakitu takes a bit of a cheeky line up the top of a Rouge. It's not going to help him anyways, because Jinx is going to fly past in the McLaren. Jinx has certainly been at his back at his best here today, as Nathan Samba has picked up a 3-second time penalty that is not going to help him here in Belgium if he wants to try and win this Grand Prix. Lakitu loses the spot to Jinx, and I have to say Jinx has been one of my performances of the weekend, despite not having the result necessarily in the sprint race. He's made some excellent moves, and the McLaren up to 6th place now, and he does have a few pitters, or people who have to pit, in front of him, so the McLaren could be on for a very good result here in Belgium.
Certainly could be, but there's a lot of racing still to go to get that potential good result. And of course, stay right here, folks. It is Friday night here in One Hub Racing, and stay right here to find out exactly if that good result can be gotten from the drivers in question, or if anyone from lower down is going to be able to run their hard tyres perhaps and claw themselves back into this race. A two-stopper perhaps, one-stopper maybe. We'll see. It's going to be interesting to find out, and I can't wait to find out with all of you exactly what's happening in the final laps of this race. We are just about to start lap 11 of 22, so that would tell me basic maths is 50% race distance, which of course means there's still 50% still to go.
Yeah, we are 50% race distance. Of course, if you are just joining us, folks, welcome along to One Hub Racing P1 tier. Currently in P1 it is Nathan Samba. Currently in P2 it is ERT Larkin. If you absolutely love the man in P2, you can check out the P2 tier also on Friday nights. It's not it's already over for this evening, of course, but you can check it out next Friday. Namsco now attacking to look to take that P2. What can the AlphaTauri do, inside or outside here? Larkin is certainly no slouch, so he's going to have to work a little bit harder than this. Going to try and get past him into Malmedy. Larkin's tyres already won't be feeling the better. This is his round! Larkin is around, and the pressure just got to him. Larkin spun through Malmedy. That invites Namsco up to second position, and ERT Larkin has spun. He's going to spin right out of the top 10 here as DOHC goes past, and no, he's just recovered in front of... Never mind. Right, it all does get past. Race over for Larkin, unfortunately.
Well, I mean...
Not necessarily, but...
I know what you mean.
Hypothetically, yeah, it is unfortunately game over for Larkin.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but he's also on the soft tyre, so he'll probably pit this lap.
Currently 6th in the championship, of course, with 51 points. He's not had a win this season. He was in a real fight for it today. He's 17 points adrift as Jake Cole, his teammate, at the top of the order. And of course, they are fighting for the Manufacturers' Championship, them and Williams. Ferrari, of course, leading it, but I believe they still will be leading it come the end of the day, because J. Cole is in a good position and Williams have no cars here. So actually, if I'd like to use my brain for a couple of minutes, no matter what happens today, they'll still be leading it ahead of Williams, because Williams can't score points if they're not here, can they? No, but Merckx and Cass, the two Williams drivers, we do expect to see them back next week. It was just a once-off absence, hopefully, for them, because Merckx, he is a very quick driver. Speaking of quick drivers, Tim attacking Namsco. Can he go up the inside of the AlphaTauri? Of course, the AlphaTauri is going to the end of the race here. Tim is not, so he will not mind at all Tim getting through. But that's a confidence booster for the AlphaTauri, who's not really shown a heaves of confidence in the last few weeks. Tim is through.
Yeah, of course, J. Cole will be looking to repeat that move in a few moments' time. But will Namsco be fully awake and ready to fight, or will he just decide to let him go by as well, given the tyre differential? I think J. Cole actually is... Yeah, J. Cole's actually stopped twice, so he has no obligation to let him go. He knew that Tim would need to stop again. He's just going to try and be taken with Tim, but J. Cole will try and get through anyway. And Jinx and Lakita are battling just behind those two as well. So there's a couple of battles going on here on lap 12 of 22 here in One Hub Racing. And I think we're going to have several battles from now, but the clouds look a little bit darker to me.
The clouds do look a little bit darker. We're still on lap 12 here of 22, so there is still plenty of racing left here in the Belgian Grand Prix. We definitely could get a few patches of rain. Of course, winter time in Belgium, you'd get quite a bit of rain, but it is a sunny evening here in One Hub Racing. Starting lap number 13, starting lap number 13, it is Nathan Samba who leads it.
It is, but it...
big mistake from Tim. Namsco flies back through. J. Cole might have a look on this one as well. Tim, ran very wide through La Source of turn number 1, and the Haasman is trying. He's trying to find a way back here. Namsco knows that Tim can make mistakes, although he's not going to overly defend it once again, and Tim will fly past. And now back up to second, so not much loss for Tim. Just a little bit of time lost. He's regained the spot.
Yep, it's always good to regain a spot you've just lost, especially when you didn't try to fight it and the driver ahead that's just overtaking you makes a mistake. So you get back through. It's always a bit of a morale boost to you, who you just coast into the end to see what you can do, and the guys around you keep making mistakes. That's always good for you as a driver. But we don't really like to praise people for. Words are broken, but we don't like to see mistakes here. But when they happen, it's always an opportunity for somebody else to step up into the limelight.
I'm very, very intrigued by J. Cole's strategy. He's already made his 2 mandatory pit stops, but those medium tyres are not going to be feeling so nice come the end of the race, let's put it. Now let's go. Fine. He'll be fine to the end of the race. Those hards can do the laps he is wanting them to do. The mediums, not necessarily, because there is still quite a few laps left in this race. With the sprint, the races always feel a lot longer, and whether that parallax has tripped these guys over their own strategies a little bit, that is yet to be seen. But J. Cole, very interested to what he can do, as Daniel Ricciardo's engineer said in previews, I am a fan of your work. So J. Cole still in the hunt for what would be a second consecutive championship winning season. He won the P2 tier championship last season, which me and Matthew had the honour of covering. It was a fantastic finale as well, involving his teammate Larkin, and teammate at the time Larkin as well. They were driving the Red Bulls that season, of course, and I believe Schnicksel, who was in the Williams, was battling them as well. But it just wasn't to be for the German or for Larkin. It was J. Cole's season, and it was J. Cole's day. But another man who was in that same P2 season was Lakitu, and he is on very similar strategy to his previous season champion. However, still a stop to make for Lakitu, so he is going to have to complete that, but he's right on the back of Jinx, and I have to say these two have been very nip and tuck all Grand Prix.
Yes, they certainly have, and I've got a feeling we're going to see them nip and tuck to the end of the race as well. But whatever happens, I'm sure we're going to have a very entertaining finish. But just looking for potential battles a little bit later on due to tyre strategy or whatever. Corey is, he's still not here, that's AI, but his AI car decides to be a little bit ambitious and put the softs on at this stage. Let's see if it works out for his AI driver. But don't know why I'm commenting on that, to be honest. It's an AI driver, but I think I've lost the will to live sometimes. What's going on?
Oh, well, one thing that we can look forward to, if anyone at home who I hopefully isn't, hopefully we are entertaining you, if anyone at home is losing the will to live, you can look forward to some more races here in One Hub Racing. We are almost at the end of the season, but there's some brilliant championship fights in other tiers. Next race, of course, and next week we head to the Circuit Paul Ricard in France for round number 8. We then head to Montreal, Canada, and then to round off the season we head to Silverstone on the 10th of February. Here comes Damsko on Tim. Not close enough to make a move, unfortunately. Lakitu there in 5th is close enough, and he is past Jinx. Jinx, can he maybe look to try and get past Lakitu? No, he cannot here into Malmedy, maybe into Bruxelles. It's a corner where Jinx, he's made a few moves today in both Sprint and Main Grand Prix. He snuck his way through like Harry Houdini, but not able to make it not able to make it stick now through Rick's curve, and he will just have to sit behind Lakitu. For those who are interested in One Hub Racing in our other tiers, it was a Delta Hunter who took the win in the P2 tier. Matthew, who won in P3?
Jonas.
As there was no Discord notification for it, so I did not see it. But that was the P3 tier. Of course, you can check out as well on Friday nights, and you can check out the P2 tier. But please, check us out every week as well, because we're bound to have a couple of crackers towards the end of the season. Nevertheless, let's stick with today then, because we still have an interesting end to the race. There's been no real interesting battles or mistakes, apart from maybe that Larkin spin. So no sign of a safety car that would save Nathan Samba's mammoth effort here in the P1 tier. I hope he hasn't forgotten the fact it's a 2-stop, because that would be a bit of a blunder, but I don't think he has. Nathan is fairly clued on. He's the ERT man, and he certainly performed in previous One Hub Racing P1 tier races. He won, of course, the Portuguese Grand Prix in dominant fashion, took pole in the rain, and ended up winning the Grand Prix. Very interesting Grand Prix that one was. There was some excellent performances that day from the likes of Ayoub Khan and, of course, Nathan Samba that we mentioned as well. No Ayoub here this evening, but his teammate Jinx is trying to regain some points for the McLaren team. Not able to make it stick on Lakitu now. They both have a penalty, which evens out things, but it may invite the Confessor up to 5th position. The Confessor is someone who really goes under the radar here, is what I've figured. He really just likes to sneak his way into good points. Even in Singapore, when, as he would call it himself, he dropped an absolute honker, which seems to be a new word the Confessor likes saying. He snuck his way into good points, and he's looking to do the same again today. Of course, he was one of the drivers who made the double stop under the safety car to put themselves on an ideal strategy. Will it be an ideal strategy? We are yet to see. However, I have commentated on 3 Belgium races already in the past week. This is my 4th, and in every single one, there's been a late safety car. So stick around, folks. We may have one here.
Oh, if this was broadcast television, that would be a perfect time to go for a break to keep people going back. But of course, we have no breaks here on YouTube and Twitch, so it's going to be all go to the end. And of course, Nathan Samba and Tim will probably pit in the next lap or two to go onto the softs.
Lakitu and Jinx both in. So Lakitu and Jinx have both bailed off their tyres at the exact same lap. You thought maybe Jinx would have stayed out when he saw Lakitu pit, but he might just be reacting to the Alfa Romeo. Here's a little bit of a race on pit road, as they would say over in the United States. Jinx gets out of his box. What about Lakitu? There's the McLaren. Lakitu gets out in front. They're both going for the soft compounded tyre, so this will be an on-circuit battle to the end of the race. DHC's not going to get involved in this one. They'll be out in clean air. They'll have clean air behind us. That's Nathan Samba's chance of a race win gone, I feel, folks, because he's just picked up his second 3-second time penalty. He's now on 6, and of course him and Tim still both have to make a pit stop. If a safety car was to come out, they'd both love it to be now, but it doesn't look like there's any chance of it. There is a chance of Jinx going for the move here on Lakitu, fresh out of the pits. He's got the tyres up to temperature much earlier on than Lakitu has, and in towards the Lake Home chicane. Jinx retakes P8 here in the ERT Spa Grand Prix of Belgium.
Yes, it's certainly an opportunity of late positional gains, but I've just tried to do some quick maths to figure out Samba his finishing position. He'll presumably pit this lap or the next, go onto the softs, and when he comes out could well decide whether he gets a sniffer for podium or not. I don't think at this stage he's going to. With that 6 seconds of penalty, he's going to absolutely ruin his afternoon's work, but you never know when a safety car's about to happen. As you say, you've commentated on quite a few late safety cars already, and in goes Samba to find out exactly what he's got left in the tank for the final few, and now he's got through into the lead of the race. And let's see what Tim is in as well, and Confessor stays out, so he could well have done drive of the season. Frankly, forget drivers of the day, we'll talk about that a little bit later on, but this could well be driver of the season for this race alone.
Yeah, the Confessor with an excellent performance. Our 2 championship protagonists are separated by a little bit over a second. I feel Namsko's going to try stretch his legs on this lap and just drop J. Cole and give him no hope of a race win. And yeah, it's 1.4 down the straight. I think that's what's going to happen, but J. Cole will be very, very happy to sit behind in second and pick up 17 points for his efforts. Rydal goes past Timo, but a penalty for Rydal may allow Timo to stay in this one. Nathan Samba's come out 4 seconds adrift of this, so he has a few laps to try and make up that deficit. If a safety car was to come out now, we'd have a very exciting end to the race, but it does not look like there is a safety car going to come out now, and Namsko and J. Cole and the Confessor probably a bit thankful for that. They will love to not see a safety car or a virtual safety car of any sorts, but there's certainly been some impressive performances today. Of course, Timo's best result was P3 in the last race. He's currently P5, but he will pick up a P4 here. Timo drove well in Singapore. Of course, did get promoted a place. He did finish P4, and he was inherited onto the podium. He would love to. He'd love to be inherited onto, or he'd love to be brought up on the podium. Apologies again. Gap up the front is now 1.9. Namsko's did exactly as we said.
Yep, he's definitely sensed his opportunity to just disappear down the road a little bit, and he's certainly done that quite well. And the Q2 in P9 is looking to capitalise on any errors that teams may make ahead in P8, but just going to go down to Lock in P11. He's still not out of the top 10. He's got a little bit still to go, though, of course, but any small mistake could be maximised upon by any of these drivers in the final few laps. But Namsko is looking very much comfortable, as he has, let's be honest, since the start of the sprint.
Yes, of course, we had one of two sprint races, or apologies, we had the second of two sprint races as the Confessor. Oh, he's disconnected. No, look, he's just joined back. He did lose big time to Ryder Dahl, and Ryder Dahl, he's pushing like a deer looking to catch his prey, like a lion hungry for supper. And the Confessor, oh, can he just get back in time? He has, so he has got back in time, and the Confessor's still in third here in this Grand Prix. He has Ryder Dahl and his team are right behind. This could be a scrap for the podium towards the end of the race. I can't lie, would love to see the Confessor pick up a podium here. Usually I'm very biased to Ryder Dahl. No reason at all other than the fact I absolutely love saying that name, and that is the sole reason I normally root for Ryder Dahl, but would love to see the Confessor pick up a podium here, because he certainly had an up and down race and sprint race here. He wasn't able to take proper control of his car in the sprint, didn't get to do qualifying, and he's currently on course for a third position here in Belgium. But that 19 out of 22, still plenty of time for some drama, although it looks like there's going to be no hiccups from Namsko at the front of this race.
Yep, certainly looks that way, but Jake Hall in P2 will be hoping that it's the same for him. But I have a bit of a screen freeze there. I just hope that was just me and not Jake Hall, because that would have been slightly frightening, that part of the racetrack. But Samba is, well, I would say Samba's fine, but Tim thought he wanted the fastest lap once again.
Samba and Tim are right on the back of this train. They are pushing.
In fact, actually, Samba going so quick might have helped Tim get a fastest lap of the race just there, with how close they are on track as well. But of course, Timo in P5 as well will be looking to do something. He's on 12 lap old hard, as is Ryder Dahl in front. But Ryder Dahl, of course, crucially has a penalty, as does Samba, who has a couple. So
yeah,
still not over yet.
Yeah, rightly so. Samba's not just racing against these cars, he's racing against the clock, but he's got to try dispatch one of the obstacles in his way. That is his ERT teammate Timo. He dives into Bruxelles. The tyre advantage was just way too great for him, and Samba is up into P5. Ryder Dahl next, and then it's the Confessor. Every corner that Samba is stuck behind these guys is crucial for the end of this race, because he can easily pull 6 seconds over this train. With the state that his tyres are in, they are very, very good compared to maybe the Confessor and Ryder Dahl's poor ones. Although making mistakes like that is not going to help the Aston Martin, and making mistakes like that may see him stuck in this pack for a little while longer. How's he going to dispatch Ryder Dahl then? Will it be a side-by-side in the Blanchimont? Will it be a late move into the bus stop? We'll find out in a second, because here comes Nathan Samba on the back of the Red Bull Racing machine, a car he's driven before here in One Hub Racing. But it is Aston Martin, former sponsors of Red Bull, that he is driving now. This surely is going to be a late breaking move into the bus stop. No, too far back. Tim not able to dispatch Timo, and he's actually had a huge wobble into the bus stop. Tim loses a big bit of time. Samba looking to go alongside Ryder Dahl. If he was to get past Ryder Dahl into turn 1, that would tee him up very nicely for getting the Confessor. Brakes really late, and he's looking for a bit of a cutback on the Red Bull. Heading into Eau and Radillon, it's the penultimate lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. This is the battle for the podium between the Confessor, Ryder Dahl, Nathan Samba, Timo, who's just picked up a penalty, and Tim. Down the Kemmel Straight we go. Who's able to slipstream and DRS down the longest part of the circuit? Ryder Dahl not close enough to the Confessor. Tim's dive Timo, and he's got the job done at Lake Home. He has got the job done at Lake Home. Great move from Tim. He's up to 6th. Nathan Samba's right on the back of the Red Bull. Is there going to be a dive into Bruxelles? Jake Hole's round from 2nd. The Ferrari has made a huge error. It's a devastating blunder from the Scuderia Ferrari car of Jake Hole, and the championship lead will exchange hands to Namsko if it stays like this.
Yeah, judging on the evidence of the rest of the race, I don't think there's... Oh dear, Jacob's all over the place. He's got Has he got a puncture there? The rear left. Is that punctured? Is that? Did that?
It's puncture for J. Cole. That is what's happened. He's had a tyre puncture on the rear left. We questioned whether his tyres would go the distance. They have not, and that is why J. Cole will he even pick up points. Ryder Dahl is out of the Grand Prix. He's crashed heading through the Kumpel Frere. Ryder Dahl's made a huge error there. He is parked on the left-hand side. It's all kicking off in the penultimate lap of the race. Nathan Samba's on the back of the Confessor. Will it be a defensive masterstroke from the Mercedes to hold on to second position here in the Belgium Grand Prix? Samba's had a bit of a wobble. Now he's Tim right behind him. Everything has teed up and everything is boiled, and now it's spilling, and this is quite beautiful here in Belgium. Down into Les Source on the final lap. There's a 10.8 second lead for Namsco. That has no reflection on what we've seen here in Belgium. Down, or up I should say, Eau Rouge, and up Radillon, and onto the Camel Straight for the final time. 3 iconic words in Formula 1 racing. Will this be an iconic end to the race in one hub racing? Samba looking to try and get alongside the Confessor. Surely he has to go for it now. He's not gone for it now, in case of risking maybe taking himself and the Confessor out. Tries to switch back into Malmedy. Bit of a snap. Tim's alongside the Aston Martin. The two soft tyre runners are side by side into Woods. Roussel hairpin. Tim's got the job done on Samba. All attention was on the Aston, but the Haas has snuck himself through, and now Tim is in a real fight for second here. The Confessor, it's not a puncture, it's a puncture for the Confessor. There's a huge collision through Wuhan. It's all changed hands. Puncture for the Confessor into one of the highest speed corners in Formula 1. Tim has made contact with him. It's taken himself out of the race. The Confessor falls off and falls at the final hurdle well and truly. Samba is in second. Timo invites himself onto the podium and will finish on the podium. Jinx has gone round. The Confessor's round as well. There's penalties all across the field. Namsco's heading through the bus stop. He literally knows nothing about what's gone on behind him. Simple, exquisite from Namsco, dramatic from everyone else. Hence why Namsco wins the Belgian Grand Prix here in the P1s here. Timo is going to come home third. Or Timo's going to come home second, apologies. He's going to get Namsco or Nathan Samba on a penalty count. Samba will... How's he ended up third after going into those last 2 laps? I've no idea. Tim will come home fourth by tiny margins. Lakitu will come home 5th. Jinx is going to come home in 6th ahead of DOHC, and then it will it even be the Confessor? J. Cole is quite literally a prancing horse trying to get the silver arrows. The Confessor's round again. Oh no, that's so unfortunate for the Confessor, because he drove oh so well to get back up to 3rd. J. Cole may well get the Mercedes on a penalty count. He's going to get him before the line. Side by side between the Ferrari and the Mercedes. No, the Confessor does get across the line. But he did get a 5-second time penalty for who really knows what. Larkin then comes across the line in 10th. It's not a huge margin extended in the Constructors' Championship. I'm going to try and get my breath back. What an end to the race.
I don't know what I've just seen. I mean, I've watched it all, but it's... I mean, yeah, like the first incident, I was thinking, did the error cause the puncture, or did the puncture cause the error? And of course, the second one, there's nothing you can really do about that. He's bit corner, the tyre just explodes, and he takes Tim with him, which is just an unfortunate thing to happen. You can't legislate for that, but it's somehow how Samba finished up on the podium.
I haven't a clue how Samba's finished up on the podium.
Absolutely dead and buried.
But the thing is, Namsco would have to be really careful, because he was on the same lap all tyres as the Confessor.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point there. But I think it was never really in doubt anyway. But yeah. Yeah,
to be fair, he did have the buffer. He could have just coasted, and with all the all the rest of them going around like headless chickens, he would have had a bigger gap even if he had have coasted. But what an end to the race. Namsco wins in Belgium ahead of ERT Timo. Championship lead obtained from Namsco. Timo in second, followed by Nathan Samba. It is then Tim, Lakitu, Jinx, DOHC, who I don't even think we really mentioned amidst all that chaos. J. Cole in 8th, the Confessor 9th, Larkin 10th. rounds out the top 10. Your disconnects were Marvin, Muir and Corey, and your non-finishers were Ryder Dahl and Owen White. Matthew, who's your driver of the day?
Well, my driver of the day is going to be a very, very boring choice. He's dominated right from the start today, and I'm going to select Namsco as my driver of the day. And the question that I would like to ask him is, did your performance in the sprint give you the belief you could win the feature race as well?
I'm going to go for a bit of a different driver of the day, and I feel he's been awfully hard done by at the end. I'm going to go for the Confessor, because I think P3, and I think you agreed with me during the race, I think P3 would have been an excellent result for the Confessor considering all that's happened. And my question for him is going to be, was receiving the puncture on the last lap heartbreaking after such an impressive comeback? But ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Evan and Mr. Matthew may need to lie down after that one, and you might need to too. So, thank you very, very much for watching. Make sure to join us next week where we head for an equally exciting Grand Prix in all our respective tiers. P3 tier, P2 tier, and of course us in the P1 tier. We head to Circuit Paul Ricard. Once again, staying in Europe, we'll be staying in Europe, then heading over to Canada and back to Silverstone to round out the Season 22 calendar. Thank you to, of course, to our sponsors and partners, Assetech, Next Level Racing, ERT, GamerGU, Sim Gear, and, of course, our Taskman, who runs TAS. And, ladies and gentlemen, what a race here in Belgium. Thank you very much for joining us. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you next time.